Hello everyone. Now in the last video we did a socket programming tutorial video where we were able to create a program that was responsible UDP server program that is responsible for creating a connection with a client UDP program. So in this video, we are going to create the client part so that the server can communicate with the client. And my name is Faisal from Phoenix Academy. So if you go back to this particular diagram, where we have this UDP socket programming flow, you can see the flow for the UDP client. You can see first of all we create a socket, then we making use of send to function. We send a message to the server, and then we receive a message from the server, and then we close the connection. So that is what we are going to be implementing in this particular tutorial. So here I have already created this a file UDP client.c, and what I'm going to do, I will just copy the whole of this, and then I'm going to paste it here and then make the necessary changes for us to achieve our UDP client, since the codes are very much similar. So I'm going to delete this, and then I'm going to have it as UDP client.c, and then a simple UDP client in C, a simple UDP client in C. Right, so here we are. So also here we are going to be passing 3 arguments. That is the name of the program, the IP address, and port number. So here I'm going to say IP address, and then followed by port number. Okay, here, so let me change it here, and then 3. So if the user did not pass 3 arguments, then the program will notify him that he needs to enter 3 arguments, and then the program will terminate so that the user can run the program in the right way. So here also is going to be a client socket file descriptor. So if the process of creating the client failed, the user should be notified that a client socket was not socket creation failed, and then the program will exit. So it's no longer server, it is client now. We are dealing with the client. So next we create our struct address, server address, since we are reaching out to the server whose address, whose IP and port number we know. So this still remains server address, and then we clear the server address structure using memset, and then we populate the members of this particular structure using server addressing family AFINet, and the server addressing port is using htones function will convert it from host network order to network host byte order to network byte order. I've explained this in the TCP IP socket programming, so you can go back to that. I say that you need to reach out to the internet, just Google htones function, and then try to know what is host network order, host network byte order, host byte order, and network byte order. So you should know the difference between big endians and little endians. So you can just a small Google search, you'll be able to know the difference between host byte order and network byte order. So, and then this particular atoy is a function that will convert it from string to integer. Since we are entering the port number as string over the terminal, then the atoy will convert it to integer, and then it will be accepted using in this case is going to be our third argument in this particular program. And then also here we are not running it over any interface, but over the correct address, IP address of the server. So, and it's going to be the second argument that is going to be passed over the terminal. Also, we are not making use of this. It's going to be, since we are passing the address as in a dotted decimal. Says if we are running it on this our machine, we are passing 127.0.0.1, which is in a dotted decimal notation. So we need to convert it into network byte order using this particular function inet editor. So this will convert it to a network byte order and make it presentable to our program. So, and also we are not binding. It is in the server that we bind. In the client, we don't bind anything. So I'm going to remove this. So next create, we are creating a buffer, and then we are structure client address, size of client address. Okay, so next we are not sending, but we are rather we are sending, not receiving first. First we need to send. So let me go and copy the send function. Let me just copy this. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to come and paste it here. So first of all, we are going to be sending a message to the client. So what message are we sending to him? I'm not sending an empty message to him. So I'm going to make use of this function str string copy, str copy. I'm going to copy a message. I'm going to copy into this particular buffer the message, the string hello server. So this will copy this particular hello server into this variable buffer, and this buffer is, is an array of size, buffer size, which we define in the top within the macro buffer size 1024. So this is what we have, and then we are going to send this message hello server to the server using our client socket file descriptor. So I'm going to change this to client socket file descriptor. We are sending the message. This is the size of the message, and we need to put this particular parameter 0, this argument 0, and then using our server address, we are passing it over. We are passing server address, not client address this time around. Server address and size of server address. So we have set it into the server address, and then next we receive. Okay, so if we couldn't, if the send was not successful, then we have this particular check to inform us that the sending the process of sending the message was not successful. So, and then we have this. Let me copy this. Paste it in a negative one. So next, after sending, so we know the message we send. Since we know the message we are sending, we don't need to print it out. But the message next we receive, because after sending, if we go back to this particular flow, after sending we receive. So now let's try to receive from the client. From the server rather. So int receive from value, receive from, the same thing, but instead of server socket fd, we are using our own client socket file descriptor. We are okay, so we sent a message, so we need to clear our buffer so that our buffer can be able to receive a message. So I'm going to make use of I can make use of b0 or memset. Let me make use of b0 this time around. So b0 to clear the buffer. I'm going to pass the buffer and then buffer size. This is all the only these two parameters I need for using function b0 to clear away the buffer, so that our buffer can now receive a message from the server. Okay. So next, what we need to do, we have cleared the buffer. Now we can receive from the client, from the server rather. Sorry. So send status. Now we want to clear it so that we can receive something. Okay. So receive from value. So clear the buffer. Let me make a comment here to clear the buffer. Clear the buffer of any message, of any data. So next we receive client socket by using our client socket by descriptor, and then we are receiving into our buffer. This is the size of our buffer, parameter 0, and it's going to be client address and client address size. So nothing changes. This is the same thing. We are receiving it into, since the server is going to send it to our client address and client address size, so we are receiving it from there. So nothing changes here. So on the receive from value, if there is any error, we have error in receiving, and then we exit. So after receiving, we need to print the message. But before printing the message, we can set the null terminating character. You know that at the end of every string, there's supposed to be a null terminating character, which is /0, which is end a string. But just to make sure that null terminating character is there so that we won't have any garbage data attached to the message that we are going to receive from the data, let's attach it ourselves at the end of the message that we got from the server. So I'm going to say buffer, which is where we are, the array that we declare to receive our message from the server, and then receive from value. Now receive from value will contain the last amount of data that we receive from the server. So let's say we're able to receive 10 bytes of data from the server. So 10 is the last is the size of the data that we got from the server, and each one is occupying is a single array cell in the array buffer. So that means that 10, as we can see, 10 is going to be our index of our last element, okay. So that means if the 10 is the amount of data that we got from the server, that means that 10 is the size of the buffer. That means it's going to the buffer index from 0 to 9 is going to be occupied. But that means that the last index will contain our null terminating character. So that is why we make use of receive from value as the index of the last element, and which is going to be nothing but 0. This will insert the null terminating character so that we won't have any garbage data. And then finally we receive message from client, and then we print out the buffer which contains the message that we received from the server. Okay, so here message, we are finished. We don't need to do all this again. So okay, so I'm going to close the server. Okay, not server socket, but our client socket file descriptor. Client socket file descriptor. Client socket file descriptor. We're going to close it since we have finished communication, and our program terminates. Okay, so now let's go and see. Let's go and compile it and then try to communicate with the server. So I'm going to come here, and then you can see my UDP client. Okay, UDP client. So now I'm going to compile it. GCC UDP client to see. All right. No, I don't need to. Sorry, please. GCC UDP client. .c. I want to output it as UDP client, not without the .c extension. UDP client. So we don't have any error. So hopefully our program is going to work. So let me create another terminal, and then let me clear it. Now let's run the server here. Server. All right, UDP server about 1990. Now next, UDP client, my IP address, the IP address that we are going to reach out to the server to, that the server is running on. The server is running on our machine, this particular computer. So that is why I am using this home address loopback address 127.0.0.1, also called localhost, and the server is running over port 9090. So I'll just hit enter. So message from client, hello client, hello server, message from client, message from, okay, so we just need to make little changes. Message from client, hello server. Then here is supposed to be this is the client, supposed to be message from server, hello client. This is supposed to be message from client, hello server. Then this is supposed to be message from server, hello client. All right, so I think in the issues from the server code that we created first, it's supposed to be, since we are reaching out to the client, it's supposed to be hello client. So let me see the message that we are sending to the client. This is a message that we are sending to message from client. You see from, okay, we are receiving, then send to status, int send to. All right. All right, let me go back to the server process. What are we sending? We have received from value. We received message. Yes, we received message. We are finished. We clear the buffer here, line number 68. Then supposed to be we are copying this particular message, hello client, to the buffer, and then we are sending the buffer. So it's supposed to be hello client. The client is supposed to receive this message, hello client. Is that what we have? Hello client. Okay, it's supposed to be message from server. That is the issue. Supposed to be message from server. So okay, the issue is from the client process. It's supposed to be message from server, not client anymore, since we are the client. So message from server. So that was what was causing the confusion. So let me go and recompile the client program. GCC UDP Client.c, and then I want to output it as UDP Client, and then now we want to run it, but we have to run the server first. So let me clear here also. Let's run the server. The server is waiting for client to reach out to it. The client has reached out to it. It has got a message from server, hello client, and also the client has sent a message to the server, hello server. So now we have successfully created and implemented a UDP user datagram protocol client server program using socket programming in C. So thank you for watching out to my video tutorials, and please watch out, subscribe to my channel. There is going to be more tutorials coming on this particular network socket programming. My name is Faisal from Phoenix Academy. Thank you.